Yo, this is how to make viral reels as a video editor. I'll show you all the priorities because most are what other video editors do. They take inspiration from other people and they get too much into this expert mindset. I do what other experts do and all the best video editors, like adding sounds way too loud, like money sound, ching ching, and those kind of things, which everybody uses. And then it looks too much like a copy paste and it's not actually what really matters. What really matters is when you look on TikTok and you see what is exactly working, what is getting the most views and why. Learning from it instead of learning from competition. That's the best way. And it's also the same for every business. I found out when I focus on my clients or normal people like, instead of what the expert likes, then it changed everything and I made more money and I just became better at what I do. As a photographer, as a video editor, as everything. Get also a little bit inspiration from what other video editors, but get more inspiration from what actually works in the market on TikTok. First priority is the first 3 seconds. Never assume attention. Even though I have followers and people know me, that's not gonna mean that they're gonna watch what I say. They will give me 3 seconds of their time, right? Or 1 second or 3 seconds ideally. It's between 1 and 5 seconds. So 3 seconds will give me of their free time to see if I'm worthy of their time. Time is the biggest attention. Attention is the biggest asset. Attention and time is the most important things for humans. We don't know about it, we don't speak about it, but it is. We need to earn it because they can just scroll down. Why would they stop? So we need to get their visual, we need to get their attention quickly. And then it's not by beating the camera and doing things like this or adding fire or adding some noises and being aggressive. That's too aggressive. The best way to see it is like if you walk in a really busy street, see so much things, so much interesting things overall. And you're like, what is the most interesting thing right now? So the first 3 seconds, you give everything a second to look like this. And then what is the most interesting thing? When a woman screams. This is the best comparison I can give to get attention. That's the healthiest. This is how I got the first €1,000,000. Or this is how I got so much views. Or, something like, oh, I want to learn that. I want to get the secret. And often in TikTok, for example, the most viral reels are the most authentic reels, right? Most like someone just took it by mistake with a camera and something happened or something like this. That's often the case. So what we need to do first is we look at this video that your client made, and we're going to look at all of it and we're going to check what is the most interesting part of this video. It's usually the assumption. So at the end, usually it's like, I did this, and this is how I got to €1,000,000, or this is how I did this. This is how I did this without doing that. Those are usually the first 3 seconds. Those are the hooks. That's the most important part. And then if you have visual, that's also really important. But the most important is the audio and then the visual and then the text. You have a verbal hook and a text hook, which could be a little bit similar. And that's a little bit more copywriting, so you might not be good at it. Always use words that anyone can understand, also like a kid, and don't use more than 5 words. Now we got this. This is like the most important in 3 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut all the fluff out. Not the fluff, but the empty spaces. This is how I save on storage costs as a wedding photographer. Storage costs. Too much. This is how I save on storage costs as a wedding photographer. Costs as a wedding photographer. And then this is also a big dead space. We never want that. And if I have ever, and those kind of things, you cut it out completely. Wedding. After a wedding. After I export all my photos from my wedding, after a wedding, cut it out. As a wedding photographer. After I export all my photos. And then the second priority is to listen to everything and to see what is not important here. How can we make it short and condensed to the customer to understand? We really want to educate them. We want to make it as easy for them to understand as possible. What's the most important? We put it in the front. And then the second most important, we put it also in the front. And then we have the story. And then the end needs to be good. So we do all the work for them so they can consume the information as easy and understandable as possible. So another really important thing is never to use B-roll that everybody uses or sounds that everybody uses. Always try to be unique for your clients, your customer, or video, whoever makes the video, whoever posts this. So try to take B-roll from them, actual life. So you can go to all the stories, screenshot stuff, video shot. I have a folder, like a Google Drive, with all my videos, all my B-roll, so they can just take and everything is personalized to me, and that's the best. If it's just a random person or like it looks old, it looks it makes it cheap and it makes it look like everyone else. It really is bad. And those sounds, loud sounds, doesn't help. What does help is like having a riser, like a or stuff like that. It does help, but it's not top priority. It's like low priority. It helps, but it's not so important. It's more important what I say or what the client say and when he said it and how fast it is and how understandable it is. And the visual. The visual is then the second priority. When I say, for example, this is how I did this, I did 1, this, 2, this, we clarify things for them, right? We do is clarify. So then if I say 1, 2, 3, then I can, for example, have here, if I say here 1, 2, 3, for example, I'll go make it white because my brand is white. And how do you know it? Or how can you know it? You just go to your client's website and you see this font. So I'm going to use this font for him. This is his style. A lot of white space, which is luxury. This is how luxury is. There's a lot of white space, a lot of space around. Nothing is too big. I used to do it. It's also really big. I have this like from here to here. That's overwhelming. That's like, whoa, that's too much. It's like, I don't know where to look at. This is much more clear. So having white space. Go here, and then I'm going to add text. Not in the middle like this, always like this. This is the easiest way people read from one side. And then we use always the font of the user, right? This is perfect size. Also, I see a lot of video editors make too much of a big gap here in between. No need to. This is a little bit too small. It can be a little bit bigger, but don't use all screen all the time. Oh, and another really important thing is when you use B-roll, we need to make it as easy as possible for people to understand, right? So always have everything at the same points. The eyes, my eyes are here, right? People will look here. So people's attention will look here. So what I see a lot of photographers also do a mistake. They add a lot of photos and the eyes are always at different places, here, here, here. And then they add it super quick. And then it's like, I don't have the time to understand the photo, to know what I see. And that's where it's distracting. So you always want to have the eyes or what you look at here at the same point. Because people don't want to move eyes. People, when you add a new photo, people need to like a few milliseconds. But if the eyes are in different places, like I need to move my eyes like this, like everywhere, right? And that's too messy. They will get distracted. It will be overwhelming and they will scroll down. So always at the same space. Really, really important. Yeah, that's it. So at the beginning, if you have a good visual, that's ideally a good explanatory video, a visual, I mean, something like this, a good B-roll. Ideally, people don't want to look at faces, like it's like a stranger who speaks to them. Ideally, they want to look at something else, right? They want to look at like something that happens in the environment. So if I speak about, this is how I say about storage costs as a wedding photographer. So ideally, you want to have a video here, me on the computer with too much hard drives, right? Oh, and a really helpful thing is you can use ChatGPT for those things. So what you do is you basically take all this audio, you put it into something that converts it to audio, to text. I used to use Descript, which you can just upload it and it will give you all the text. I know YouTube does it as well. I know video to text. You can just write it in Google. You will have, I think Beats is also Beat. Yeah, this one is a really good free one also. Just upload it and you get the text. You add it to ChatGPT, you paste it into ChatGPT and you write, hey, I have the script. What can we remove from here? What is the most important things from here? What is a good hook? What is a good visual for the beginning? The more attention you put, the more passion you put into it. That's why I love video editors who have passion. The better it gets. And have passion for results, not always special effects. I mean, special effects are really cool, but if you do it right. And the top priority is actually understanding the psychology behind it. It's not hacking the algorithm, it's hacking psychology and what people understand. You focus, have all your focus on what people pay attention to. That's the best tip I can give you. So you ask ChatGPT, and then the first 5 seconds are really important. So you ask ChatGPT, or you even check yourself, what are words we can remove from here? This is how I build my hooks. So here it's easier with this video, but people who are making long form and don't know what they do, what are the best that you can put as a hook, and what are the words you can remove that don't add to what you understand? Because the first 5 seconds are really, really important. This is how I say about storage costs as a wedding photographer. Okay, well, this is too long for example. Storage costs. About storage costs as a wedding photographer. After I export all my photos from my wedding, I have like a 10 gigabyte Right, so this is now a good hook. This is how I say. And then you can also have here our extensive hardware. Right, we use it text font. We use my font, and then we can use, to make it as clear as possible, we can use something like this. This is how I save on storage. Or if you don't want to use this, like for example, if we have all the text later, this. I have all the text. I'm gonna do it like this. Ideally, I want to have 3 words every time, or 1 to 3 words, not so much. CapCut does a bad job at doing it. For now, I'm sure they will get an update. And then I have a shadow. I usually do it chop, chop, chop. That's the most understandable. And like that. Middle. Great. This is how I say. And then you can, you know how to do it. So I'm not really a video editor. But this is how we get the best attention. Success. And that's all the tips I have.